I'm kind of dancing to that music. How about you? Well, welcome to our Wednesday street smart conversation about what's going on in the world, what's going on in the market. And hey, welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube, welcome the world. We've got some great info for you today. Now, one thing that people have been talking about is, hey, is it a great idea to invest in real estate right now? And I say there's never any time like the present. Now, here's one thing that you really have to realize is that when I got started in this business in in the late 70s, early 80s. Remember this, interest rates were 21%. And maybe I was young and stupid, but I didn't even realize that that was something that would completely stop me or should completely stop me. Now, it had stopped a lot of other people, and I was able to step in. And that's where I learned creative financing, right? Is that the seller would be the bank. Why? Because interest rates were so crazy, it didn't make sense for people to buy with bank loans and because they could not cash flow the properties. So sure enough, I stepped in. I bought a property. I took over the existing financing on the property, and the seller carried back financing. And that was my foray into the industry, so to speak, of getting third party properties with third party loans, meaning that the seller was being the bank for me. And I was able to find clients. And because of the great tax benefits that were available at that time, then it made perfect sense for me to buy that property. So we always want to look at things from the perspective of what's true now. And right now, one thing I will say to folks is that number one, there's always clients in your marketplace that can afford the properties and the price points that are available in your marketplace. And the idea is to find deals that nobody else knows about. Now, this is something that I've become a master at, is making connections with the community where people are bringing you leads that nobody else knows about. Now, with that said, you can also invest outside of your community. You can invest in other parts of the city, other parts of the state, other parts of the country. Now, this is a little uncomfortable for some people, leaving their own backyard thinking that you got to go drive by and see the property. Listen, I've got properties I have not seen in years. I mean, literally multiple years. Some of them over a decade. I haven't even seen those properties physically. But what we've got is paying clients in those properties. And that's the key to the kingdom, right? You want cash flowing properties. So one thing that's true is that just because a market is $1 million or 500,000 or 300,000 in one area does not mean that's true in other areas. And this is something that I always want people to realize, is that jobs drive values. So whenever in an area there are significantly high paying jobs, there are values that correspond to that. Just look at, San Francisco and really the Pacific Northwest. Where are all the the tech titans at? Right, they're in the Pacific Northwest. And guess what? They've got high paying jobs. And as a result, they've got very high cost housing. Now, people that live there can definitely find housing for those clients that make that kind of money, and they can take their investment dollars and invest elsewhere. And there's many different opportunities throughout the country. And with our program, the Path to Home Ownership, it's attractive. It really doesn't matter where you turn that switch on. It's attractive everywhere you turn the switch on. And you can enroll real estate agents to help you with that process. You can enroll just people that just want some extra income, an hour here, 2 hours there, and they just want some extra income that you can post those. And we can teach you how to do that, but you can post these little jobs and they become your gopher, so to speak, in that marketplace. They go, they run, they put out signs, they show properties, they take pictures, they take their camera, they FaceTime that property to you wherever you are. And we've got clients using our program that invest in properties in states they've never been to before. So I just wanted to open that door of possibility in your mind that definitely we can create something that makes a lot of sense. Scott, a couple of thoughts that you and I had about what we're talking about today is you were telling me about in Canada where you live. What did you tell me about what the prices are up there?
I live in Vancouver, and the average house, I swear, is almost $1 million. And when you see it, it's a shack. And and then I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, and he was buying a place in North Carolina, not far from the ocean, which in Vancouver would be prime property. It would be super expensive, and it was like $80,000 or $90,000. And I just couldn't. I mean, I knew he was telling the truth, but I could not believe it. So just because we hear that prices are, people are, 10 people are bidding on a house and the price is 50% over what they listed it for, doesn't mean that's what's happening everywhere. But I think it causes a certain fear and panic in the marketplace.
Well, there's important lessons from the past, and past history is a good teller of the future. One thing that occurred during the last downturn, and of course we know that certain markets had an implosion, right, of values. It was just amazing. But other markets throughout the country did not have that change in values. And it was because they had not bought into, so to speak, those subprime loans that were available at the time. So they didn't have a large nucleus of clients that had taken advantage of those things in their local market. So their values remained consistent. And in other parts of the country, all of this is relative to the law of supply and demand. And if people don't understand that that's a real thing, it doesn't matter if you're in a capitalist society or a communist society. It's absolutely true. The law of supply and demand dictates what values are. So sure enough, there are places where there's a whole lot of demand and it's doing exactly what you said, Scott. There are multiple offers on single properties, but that doesn't mean you have to play that game. And right here in the Atlanta market, that's absolutely true, that there's all kinds of bidders and all kinds of buyers, and we're buying properties, but we're buying properties that nobody knows about. And that's the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, of stealth buying, the way I teach. I call them no competition deals.
Awesome. So one of the things that we were talking about before we came on the air was about the situation with renters, because one of our themes is, should you sell because it's hot in Atlanta, or should you hold? And if you're going to be holding, of course, then what are you going to do with the property? Well, you'll rent it. But so let me just bring this up. This is from, I think it's CNBC. And it says nearly 20% of renters in America are behind on their payments. The typical delinquent renter owes $5,600. And this is the part that both of us shook our heads at. 57.3 billion is owed by just stop there. 57.3 billion is owed by these renters that are delinquent. That's an astounding number.
It is an astounding number. And unfortunately, government has imposed itself where, sometimes people try to do the right thing, and in doing the right thing, they do the wrong thing. And one of the basic tenets of our Constitution is the power and the benefit and the support of the Constitution for contracts. So basically, when one party has contracted with another, whatever that paperwork says is what goes. However, government has superimposed itself onto those contracts, and as a result have given many renters the opportunity to stop paying either for cause or not for cause, as the case may be. And of course, using an argument, using an excuse of COVID, they say, hey, I've got it, or Someone in my family has been impacted by it. But what they don't understand is that's only for that month. They can't now have a free ride. Well, the challenge is that many courts across the country are closed right now. So they're literally not taking those cases, and they're not seeing to the eviction process, which is a normal course of business when people stop paying. Hey, as a renter, as a landlord, as an owner of property, the only thing we really have to sell is space. And when people use that space and don't pay for it, well, to me, in my world, that's theft. No different than if I owned a restaurant, people came in and sat down, and maybe they came 3 times a day and they sat down, we served them meals, and then they stand up and walk out and don't pay. Well, how do you pay your bills if somebody's coming in and eating your food and not paying and walking out? And obviously, if people went into Walmart and collected up a bunch of stuff and walked out, well, that's called theft, and they could be arrested for that. So one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that to oppress that in and to not allow the normal course of business to occur really creates a devastating thing. Now, one of the things that I invented was the landlord relief package. Well, where did I invent that from? And that's landlordreliefpkg.com. You guys can go and download. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And one of the great things that we needed it for is our own business. And so I said, once we put that together, I said, I got to share that with everybody, and they can use this as a template to create one in their local market using the same guidelines that I'm using to build ours. They can build one in their local market. Well, sure enough, because of that, and one of the, I think, shocking statistics that I've provided to you is out of a couple of hundred renters that we have, we only have 3 that have let, for whatever reason, they have become chronically behind. And we have been able to, for all the others, we have been able to bring solutions to the table through a number of different agencies that do have money and will 100% provide financing to these folks. When I say financing, I mean funding. It's free money. They don't have to pay it back. It's a gift. And that's a really fine gift. And where did that come from? Well, that came from taxpayers. That came from the government actually providing funding in local governments throughout the country. And we're talking about over $50 billion is available to pay these back amounts. But one of the challenges is you can have it so and be so out there, but that does not mean that the client living in the property is actually going to go seek that money. Some will, some won't. So the thing for the landlord to do is to be proactive in helping these people, because the money is available. It's not going to cost them a thing. They don't have to pay it back. The landlord can absolutely right their ship if they simply go and find this money and resource this money and bring it to the table. So what we're doing, even for the 3 that are behind with us, we're sending them consistently the document that has to be filled out. And we're home visiting, knocking on the door, leaving a package behind, trying to connect with these folks in a meaningful way to cause behavior, to cause them to do what they need to do to get that arrearage taken care of. So even with that, one of the things that we are doing also is, in these times, people are coming from other properties who haven't paid those other landlords. So we definitely are carefully checking anyone moving into our properties. And in fact, we're not even renting any of our houses right now. We're only doing on our Path to Homeownership program. And this is the book that we give our clients. It says "Never Pay Rent Again: The Path to Homeownership." What we're giving to our clients is the ability to someday purchase that home. So we're giving them a rent to own or owner financing, and we're giving the opportunity to, step up their lives. Well, sure enough, there's plenty of people out there that do have money. They do have down payment money. It's like a gift. Every day I'm getting leads in on my phone, and I can click right on it and I open it up, and it's their questionnaire that they've already filled out, and they're telling me that they have money. So just in the last week, we've gotten one with 9,000, one with 20,000, one with 15,000, one with 7,000. There's plenty of money out there seeking to have a home and seeking to have an opportunity at home ownership. So that's one thing that I would encourage people on, is that yes, you should buy properties. Yes, you should offer them in the marketplace, but you need to be street smart about that, and be careful, be very careful about who you allow into your properties. Screen them properly, make sure they have sufficient income, and definitely go ahead and do our Path to Home Ownership program, where you're getting a significant amount of money down before they move in.
Wonderful. And I didn't realize that these people had basically grants or gifts for the landlords. And speaking of gifts, Lou, we have some gifts for viewers today.
We do. Yeah, baby.
And so if you want, I'm going to be posting in the comments where to go. And all you have to do is send your name, email, and phone number on our Street Smart Investor page. Send a private message. And then Dennis is going to give you a call. We're going to have a draw, and then Dennis will be calling you to tell you what the gift is. And Lou, do you want to share a little bit about the gift?
Well, in fact, next week, the 14th, 15th, and 16th in Las Vegas, we are going to be having a Millionaire Jumpstart. We decided, hey, why don't we give on this Wednesday's call, why don't we give away some free tickets to the Millionaire Jumpstart? That would be a bonus, but we got to have a drawing. Of course, we don't have enough for everybody on here, but we do have some set aside for today. So definitely go ahead and put in your name, your email address, and your telephone number, and we will call you back. We're going to do a drawing right after we're done here, and you'll get a call from Dennis from my office if you're one of the selectees. Now, there's going to be one that's going to be get the VIP package, and then there's going to be some other bonuses and gifts as consolations as well. So definitely listen out, and when you receive a call from Dennis from our office, from the 800-578-8580, 1-800-578-8580, just know that you could have actually won the prize. So be sure and pick up your phone when he calls or texts you and lets you know about that. So congratulations if you're one of the selectees. But hey, in order to be entered into the drawing, you have to give us your name, your email, and your telephone number. Well, that's quite electric, Scott. And I would say to people that
it's Vegas, baby.
It's Vegas, and I will say this about the Millionaire Jumpstart. It is an electric event. I absolutely love doing this. I've done it for years, and we always teach to the market that we're in. And right now, of course, talking about the market that we're in, there are certain moves that you can make to take advantage of this market and protect yourself as well. So we're going to be teaching about this market. And one of the heavy doses that you get at Millionaire Jumpstart is a focus on the buying side of the business, buying right, buying cheap. And that's definitely what we believe in as the Street Smart way, buying right and buying cheap. So I want to give you some tools to work with, and everybody that attends is going to get a very special manual. It's loaded with some of my very best documents, and we definitely want to teach you those and give you those as part of the event. So definitely get involved. Come see us live and in person right there in Vegas. You're going to have a good time too. Add on some days and enjoy Vegas, but while you're there, the 14th, 15th, and 16th, definitely plan to be sequestered with me at the event. You're going to pick up some amazing information about real estate and what we're doing in our business right now, not only on the buying side, but also on the holding side, holding the properties right, and then protecting all that you create using trusts. And you're actually going to fill out some documents while you're in class. So you're going to learn some very systematic things about how to build your business. I'm very proud to say we've helped many people to build multi-million-dollar real estate businesses. They joined me years ago. They're still in business. They still come back to these events. You'll meet some of them there, definitely, who have played the game, played it full out, and always come back for another dose of Lou. So if you haven't been to Millionaire Jumpstart, it is without question a place to go, millionairejumpstart.com. And if you have been to Millionaire Jumpstart, it's always wise to renew your information, refresh your information. And the reason is because it's new. There's new things, and there's things that you've forgotten. There's things that you didn't hear me say before, and there's things that you need to realize that you can do right now in today's market and make a whole lot of money, as we have seen.
Absolutely. So just to repeat, head over to Facebook, go to Facebook.com/Street Smart Investor, send a private message, and we'll have a drawing at the end, and Dennis from our office will give you a call. And we have a bunch of questions, so this might be a good time now, Lou, to jump in and take some of those questions. And the first one is from Erica. That landlord relief package, oh, sorry, that's not the question. Where did it go? Here it is. What would be the best way for me to learn how to invest outside of my local area?
Well, the best way for you to do that is to actually do exactly what I teach, only we're going to implement that in a different marketplace. So as we were talking about earlier, finding the houses is one thing, but what I recommend and what the House Monster teaches, which is our system, is finding the buyer before you even buy. So my recommendation would be to turn on the House Monster in the market that you are interested in. So let's say we do some analysis and we find some price points that we like, and we find some jobs, and we find an area that's stabilized, and there's income, and there's GM did not just shut down a plant there, but there's some stability in what's happening in that area. And there's so many different ways that we can teach you to find out that information. But definitely turning on the House Monster just to test the market and to find where those buyers are. And when somebody shows up, Erica, that has $10, $15, $20,000 to put down, wouldn't you be motivated to buy a house for them? And that's exactly what I teach you to do, is now that you have your client and you know what they can afford, you know how much down payment that they have and what they can afford on a monthly basis, then we go about finding a property that fits what they are looking for: the number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, location. If they have a location specificity, then definitely we're going to go find that property for them. Well, where do we put them? We put them into a holding tank. And that is our membership, Path to Home Ownership membership. And pathtoownership.com is a place that people can go to learn about the membership. But then when people join the membership, that's when we go about finding the property. And my local licensees have their own website. I just told you about the national website, but my local licensees have their own websites that you go to and join the membership at their local website. And Erica, that's what I would recommend. It's a systematic way to get a customer first before you take a chance in investing in a market that you don't know.
Great answer. And Erica had a follow-up question: is how do you manage properties in other states? That seems like it would be difficult.
Well, I tell you what, Erica, it's a lot less difficult than you might think. The reason is that a lot of our business, even here locally, is done via the phone and text and our websites. Our websites are a key element of what we do and how we do it. So what happens is that the client fills out the questionnaire on our website. That comes to me by text. I'm able to see all the answers that I need about that client, how much they say they can afford monthly, how much they say they have down, and what they're looking for. It's all right there. In addition to that, they tell me what kind of work they can do. They can interior paint, exterior paint, do drywall, do electrical, plumbing, heating and air conditioning, roofing, and so on. So I've got a whole selection that they can do on the website there, and they tell me about things that they would consider doing. And as a result, they can take a property that's not all fixed up. They can take a property as is and earn credits towards their down payment. So Erica, long distance absolutely works using our program. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of really excellent questions here. I want to see if we can't get through them all. Yeah, this one's from Edward, and he says, Lou, can you go through the process? The seller will let me take over their loans. Now what? The steps starting with the seller to the closing.
Ed Lindsay, yeah, baby. A member of the family. Congratulations. Ed is a recent certified affordable housing provider. So definitely welcome to today's call. I want to remind you about something. You do have a closed network, a closed Facebook network that's called facebook.com/certified affordable housing provider. So definitely that's a place that all the other caps throughout the country can help you. And that's what we call our certified affordable housing providers is CAPS. And they can definitely help you as well. But to answer your question, in volume 4, land trusts, there is, starting at page 148, and I know this is all baked into my memory, so I don't even have to look it up, but there are the step-by-step process to buy properties subject to the existing loan. And one of the things that you have to have in order to buy property subject to the existing loan safely is you have to have a trust. Why? Because that is the one exemption to the due upon sale clause. When a person places their property into their trust for estate planning purposes, the lender is prohibited from calling the loan due. So one of the things that we do is give you the ability to step through that process. And then you purchase not the property, you purchase the beneficial interest of that trust. And we give you the tools to do that using your personal property trust. So all the steps for that, Ed, are in your volume 4 land trusts. And if you have any challenges, if you have any questions, definitely through coaching. I know that you're one of our fast track mentorship clients, and you definitely can be supported literally step by step through that process. And also you can post it into your private network with the other CAPS, and they will walk you through it as well.
Wonderful. And Ed has a follow-up question. Can I send your purchase and sales agreements to a title company for review?
What would they need to review, Ed? So that would be my question is, definitely any of my documents. You might even take them to an attorney and have an attorney sign off on them that they've reviewed them for local laws, state laws that you have to make sure that are covered in certain documents. And those could be added to what we already have. And anything that's not compliant with state or local law, definitely you can remove those things with the advice of an attorney. We do have a document review opportunity for you. Many of our clients have signed up through us for Legal Shield, and Legal Shield offers document review to clients. And in fact, our website on that is streetsmartwiz.com/Legal Shield, LOUGALSHIELD. And that is a place you just go to over to sign up, and then you open that up, and there's the thing. And yes, we have a discounted pricing versus what Legal Shield normally charges. That's why we send you to the Legal Shield, because we've got a group pricing discount with Legal Shield. So that's one way that you could do it very inexpensively. Another is to just simply hire a local real estate attorney to review the documents and bless them, and then you will have everything that you need.
All right. Marie Ann has a question. When I get a lease option terms deal with a seller, I can't buy it in a land trust. I think that should be, can I buy it in a land trust? And so do I have to have an LLC? And do you use LLCs for any reason?
Well, Marianne, that is a great question. And the answer is there's not a lot of reason to use an LLC unless there's tax reasons, because you're already getting some pretty significant liability protection using the trusts. Some people, if they already have an LLC, they'll make the LLC the beneficiary of the trust. And that keeps all your eggs out of one basket, so to speak, because sometimes when people are using LLCs, they're putting all their eggs in one basket, one suable basket, right? So if anybody sues that LLC, well, everything that's in that LLC is subject to any kind of judgment. So my suggestion is, and the best place to be is using the trusts. Each property can be bought in its own trust, and then you can use your LLC as the beneficiary of all those trusts. That's one way to do it. But if you haven't yet established an LLC, it's a really good question about whether you actually need one. And for me, there's only business reasons. For example, Street Smart Systems LLC is an LLC, and that has a different business purpose than the other things that we do. But the individual properties and individual trust is a very smart way to set up your business. It's stood the test of time, having done it now since 1984. We've definitely seen that there's some great benefits to using trusts versus other entities. Great question, Marianne.
And we've got gifts, free tickets to Millionaire Jumpstart. Donna was asking, where can we get them? So you just have to head over to, let me just bring the right one up, facebook.com/Street Smart Investor. We've got a bunch of people that have already signed up for the drawing, Lou. So we're excited about that. And
I think Bueno was with us for the Wealth Builder Workshop just this past weekend. So welcome aboard. Thank you for the request.
Emily has a great question. How do I use the owner to finance a deal that's listed with an agent? Oh, that's interesting.
That's a great one, Emily. So using an agent is a great thing, and the property is already listed with an agent. So simply making an offer through that agent, offering owner financing, is the way to do it. However, Emily, my suggestion to you is definitely to talk with the agent, find out. And Emily, what I've found is that really this is more of a strategy that works when the property has been on the market for a while. So depending on the uptake of houses in your inventory in your local market that you may be focused on, just know this, that if the property's been on the market for 60 to 90 days, that's a little bit shop worn, so to speak. And as a result, if there haven't been offers or those offers have fallen through, then the flexibility of the seller is much more. So we're looking for properties that have been on the market typically in order to make those owner finance offers. It's just that agents are not encouraging that. One thing you've got to do is talk with the agent and say, listen, we have a program. It's called the Path to Home Ownership. And if you are one of our certified affordable housing providers, Emily, then you would be able to offer this program. Now, what happens is when you go in and when you talk with the agent, you ask to speak directly with the seller. And you say, now, let's say that the agent's name is Marianne. And say, Marianne, here's what we do. We are local certified affordable housing providers. And what we do is offer a program. It's called the Path to Home Ownership, where we help deserving families, regardless of credit or financial background, to end up with home ownership. How does that sound? And they say, that sounds great. And say, okay, here's what we do. We come and make a presentation to your seller. If your seller loves it, then we're actually going to put it under contract that day, and you're going to get your full commission. If they don't love it, you're going to get credit for the fact that you brought a ready, willing, and able buyer to the table. How does that sound? Great. And then, Emily, the strongest and best way is to create a face-to-face meeting with that seller and to make a presentation. And in fact, I've got mine right over here. And this is, so when we go to that seller, we actually make a full-blown presentation, who we are, what we do, how we operate, how we can help, how we're different than other people. We talk about our award-winning program and the fact that we've been certified in this program. We talk about our mission statement. We talk about what they're going to learn in the presentation and all the different challenges that they're faced with as a typical seller, and how we absolutely eliminate all those challenges because we're going to make them an offer right now. And then we go through the numbers with them, and they actually participate in coming up with the offer price. And we've got a whole process that we teach you. In fact, we're going to be doing that at Millionaire Jumpstart. So that's another reason to come to Millionaire Jumpstart, because I'm going to be going through this presentation process so that you can know exactly how we fill out that cost to sell worksheet with the help of the seller. So when we come up with these numbers together, it often makes a whole lot of sense to the seller that, number one, they saw how the number was arrived at, and number two, because their home is going to be used to help a deserving family end up with home ownership. Now, that is a message that really resonates with a whole lot of sellers. They love it. And in fact, the agents do too, and the agents bring you lots of other people who can't qualify for loans. So it's a win-win for everybody involved. That was a great question, Emily.
Yeah, and she had a follow-up, Lou, which was, is that in our system? And so, yes, Emily, that is all in the system.
Now, once you become certified, you get the version that I just showed, the one that is in your Whole Enchilada Junior. The one that's in your Whole Enchilada Junior is what we call the standard version. This is the one you start with before certification. So you definitely have something to use right away. And then once you get certified, of course, you get the right to use the branding, the logos, the programs that have been trademarked and copyrighted. Those are after certification.
And Mrs. Lay has an interesting question. Do I have the potential of losing the sale if I bring a buyer to the Path to Home Ownership holding tank instead of my own holding tank?
Oh, it's your holding tank. Now, if you have not yet become certified, then it's going to go into the national pool. But once you become certified, it's definitely going to be your local website that you're sending people to, and it's going to be captured in your purview, so to speak. And those leads are going to remain yours, and they're not going to be shared with anyone else.
And Edward had another question, which was a good one. Do you have a favorite title company to work with?
Well, Ed, it really depends on where you're located. We do have one in our local market, and what we recommend is and I know your market is Maryland, so we do have people that are already certified in Maryland that we can connect you with, and they will tell you the title company that they use. And that's the best way for us as one big happy family, is to work together and support one another. We're not competitors, we're supporters of one another. And just like Keller Williams agents all come together in the same room. They're competitors, but they're friendly competitors under an umbrella. So definitely when they can help one another out, they do. And we believe in the same philosophy. So as certified affordable housing providers, we help one another out. So I'll connect you with people in your local market, and they will let you know who to use.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. David has a great question, and it's, can you provide the Legal Shield URL again, please? So I'm just wondering, Lou, if it's lugalshield.com.
It's it might be. I might have both of those. I think I might have lugalshield.com, and I also have streetsmartwiz.com/lugalshield.
Okay. I think it's Legal Shield. So we're gonna put that up, so you can take a look at it. Yeah, we've got both. This is a lot easier than the other one you said.
And remember, when you go through that one, then you get the discounted pricing. So when you go over to sign up and you open that one up, it'll tell you about all the different benefits that you get for signing up for it. And just let us know that you want to sign up. And we even have some additional bonuses that we add in there as well.
And Helga's chimed in to say that is the correct URL. So we know it's right.
Okay, fantastic.
And let's see, I think we've covered every question unless I missed one near the beginning.
Wow.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. That was a lot. Those are good questions. Those are great questions. By the way, we did not practice those questions in advance. It was
they all came from people in real time.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I love this interaction that we're doing with folks. We always want to support our licensees and others that are interested in becoming licensees to definitely advance your business. And we know that there's amazing things that can happen and do happen and have happened for a lot of our licensees. And right now are just amazing times. I daily, because I have platinum coaching clients, and I'm aware of what's going on in their businesses, and they don't hold as many properties as we do, but many of them are 100% collections right now. And I'm very excited about that. It's because of their path to home ownership. You know, the fact that they're not landlords, they're offering something different than a landlord would offer. And therefore there's more motivation from the clients that are living in the homes to make those payments. So I'm very excited that that's the times that we're in right now. And because of our program, we're not seeing those devastating numbers like you were sharing earlier.
Yeah. So just a reminder, we're going to have a draw for Millionaire Jumpstart, which is in about 10 days, just over a week, I guess. Go to Facebook /Street Smart Investor and put your name, email, phone number in as a private message. We don't want you posting it on the page because millions and millions of people will see it.
And that's personal information. Don't let your personal information go out there. So do it as a private message.
Yeah. And we're going to have a drawing for 3 people. Tina just wanted me to make sure I mentioned that. And you've got till the end of the day. So if you aren't here live, and you watch the replay in a couple hours, then no problem. We're going to be waiting till the end of the day. And just to kind of review a couple things, the landlord relief package, it's free if you're a landlord. How much relief must that feel as a landlord, Lou, to know that I can get some money and these people that are 4 months behind on average won't be behind anymore thanks to these programs?
Well, Scott, we just got a check for $5,000 from one of these agencies. And we've got one agency that asked us for customers, said, look, we've got money. If they check the following boxes, then we can provide 2 months worth of assistance. So it's exactly what we did. Wow. So many of our clients got help from this one agency simply because we made that connection with them. So guys, when you talk with these agencies, talk with them about other people that may be paying, but their life may be a little unstable right now. They may be struggling to pay, and they definitely could get some advance rent from some of these programs. Because guess what? These agencies are paid to place this money. So it's not like, out of charity and their goodness of their heart, they're placing this money. It's in addition to that they are getting paid to do this. So they have their own motivations for causing this to happen. So you're not begging for charity when you call them. You're helping your client, and you're helping those agencies as well when you line the two of them up. So you almost are an agent in between to connect these agencies with the people that need the help. And of course, guess who gets the check? You get the check. So why not make the effort to create that and make the effort to cause your business to happen? You are
Muted. Sorry about that.
There you go. What were you saying?
I was going to say, this has been an amazing live stream. Thank you, everybody, for being on here. And if you enjoyed it, put a yeah, baby in the comments.
Yeah, baby, this is good stuff. And tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about Street Smart. Definitely, we have a YouTube channel, and we call it LuTube. So it's easy to remember. But streetsmartwiz.com/LuTube, you can actually get a direct connection right over to our thing and become a subscriber. You know how it goes, guys. If you subscribe, then click that notifications bell so that as we post things, you'll get notified of that. And please do, when you watch, I've got a bunch of stuff there, 2 to 5 minute long videos, as well as some more extensive ones. Go ahead and put a comment in, because that helps us with the algorithms, and all of that stuff helps people to find us. So definitely go in and make comments. We sure do appreciate that as well.
And don't forget, too, that one of the ways to become successful is by immersion. And you can immerse yourself in the content that we've got. We've got short videos, so if you just got a few minutes, we've got long videos if you've got a little bit more time. But once you're immersed in it, then your beliefs start to change, and things really will change in your life. So make sure that you get over to the channel and see everything that we've got. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Lou, one last comment on Millionaire Jumpstart coming up in just over a week.
Oh, you know, guys, put all other business aside. I make the joke sometimes, if your daughter's getting married, have her change the date. This is too important. But really, seriously, I'm talking about your future. I am talking about, when we call it Millionaire Jumpstart, you're going to not only see a lot of folks that want to jumpstart their millionaire process, but you're actually going to see millionaires there that have already adopted our system to their world, and they've already become millionaires. So I love the fact that we attract customers over and over and over again. I love the fact that they always pick up things. Even my clients that have been there before, I look at their pages and pages of ahas and the notes that they're taking. You know, they're absorbing information, because the truth of the matter is, you are a different person every time you come into our world. You have absorbed information, you've applied information, and now there's an opportunity for you to pick up new information. So I strongly encourage you to get there. If you've never been there before, or even if you have, come on and see me in Las Vegas live. The whole team is going to be there. We've got some great folks for sure that will support you in advancing your business. So do all you can. And by the way, we're going to be doing this drawing tomorrow morning. So if you're seeing this overnight, just know that we're going to be actually doing the drawing tomorrow morning. So you're going to have basically 24 hours to go ahead and see this and get into the drawing for that. And hey, if you don't get selected, get yourself there anyway. You can go ahead and call Dennis, 1-800-578-8580. Go to millionairejumpstart.com. If you register for it and you are selected, we're going to refund your tuition. So just know that it's a real opportunity for you to go ahead and take advantage of this now. When you go to the website, you're going to see a whole bunch of things that we're going to cover, but we're going to be covering a lot of things that aren't even listed on that website as well. And remember this, you're going to be getting a very special manual that's chock full of documents that we have perfected over the years. And many of our clients have made millions, like I said, using this system. So you're going to get the opportunity for yourself to do that as well at a very low investment on your part. And then I would just finish by saying, yeah, baby.
I was just going to jump on and say, you've got one last thing to say, and let's do it with gusto.
Yeah, baby. I will